Welcome, listeners, to My Fantasy Wife, the weekly sports meets comedy meets marriage podcast, where a husband and wife discuss sports and fantasy leagues and their impact on pop culture and relationships, including their own. I am the wife, comedian Blair Postman.
All right.
Hey.
I am joined by my husband and sports stat expert, Mr. Gary Hames.
Yep.
Woohoo! Also on board, Hot Topics and social media maven, comedian and pet nurse Drew Harrison.
Right.
And rounding things out, sound engineer, comedian, and man about town, Mr. Louis Bishop.
Okay.
And to never miss our weekly episodes and extras, subscribe in iTunes, Stitcher, or YouTube. Find us on Facebook and Instagram at My Fantasy Wife Podcast, Twitter at My Fant Wife, and support the podcast by liking and rating us in iTunes. Miss any of that? Then just go to our website, myfantasywife.com. It's got links to everything. Gary,
Yes.
tell us about this week's sponsor.
Sure, Blair. This week's sponsor is Podhive. Podhive.com matches small to mid-sized podcasts and advertisers. Podcasts get matched with advertisers who might otherwise miss them. Advertisers get heard by listeners of cool podcasts who would be their perfect customers. It's an audio sponsorship love connection. Well, it's practically an audio sponsorship love connection.
Practically, yes.
Go to podhive.com for more information. That's podhive.com.
Oh, thank you, Gary. What a nice reading of the Podhive sponsorship message you did today.
Literally, anytime.
Oh, thank you. All right. Well, guys, oh, wait.
Hey, and let's take a moment here just to tell you guys that we need to turn it up a notch this week. This is a particularly important show, and I want the best out of everybody. Drew, if you could maybe be a little funnier. Blair, I think you need to really kick it up to a whole nother level. Lewis, just continue doing the good job you always do.
I will.
Wow. Okay. Good notes.
Did Gary become the
Drew
director?
and I will take that under
Lewis, too. I meant what I said to Lewis, too.
Okay.
It's all three of you.
Great. Okay. Thanks. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I feel like the pressure's on. I don't like. I don't
Yeah,
feel
the
like I can bring
pressure
my
is
best.
definitely on this week. Well, luckily,
Don't worry, Gary. I'll keep the pressure up. I'll keep this sip some sim.
Zip, zap, zip.
That's what I'll do.
Yeah, if you could every now and then just play some, like, oh my God, I'm about to fall off a cliff music, I think that would keep everybody on their toes.
wow. All right. Well, Drew, you and I are on notice, I
Okay.
guess.
And Lewis is on notice, too. Keep doing the
We
good
just
job he
don't
always does.
believe you when you say Lewis is on the.
Yeah, well, Lewis is on notice for being perfect and continuing to do so, I guess. is
Hey,
what he's
just
on
because
notice.
you're jealous. So.
No, I'm a jealous person. Yeah,
I
by
know.
nature. Yeah, I mean, that's true.
I'm naughty by nature.
Well, there you Indeed.
Maybe you've heard some of my songs from the early 90s.
Well, perhaps we
Are you
have.
down with OPP?
I am so down.
Oh, hey, you know me.
Yeah.
Or
do.
I know he.
Yeah, right.
Perhaps is the way I would say that. Down with you, OPP. Yes, I know he.
Okay.
Okay. Well, guys, we're back. We had a little unexpected hiatus, although last week was a Super
Isn't that
Bowl.
a hernia?
Hiatus.
It's a hernia,
A
right?
break. No, a hiatus.
Okay.
And we had a little unexpected hiatus because Mr. Bishop was hit with the flu.
Gagging
really
on his
nasty
own
flu.
silver spoon.
Yep.
Or so he said. But I'm just saying that nobody seemed upset that we didn't have to do the podcast on Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah, right.
So I'm just going to sit. I'm just saying. So we had. So Mr. Bishop is the one indispensable member of this team. What with him having the studio and all. So we had a Super Bowl Sunday off, and we had a nice little party. And we'll get into the logistics. And Drew, I didn't hear any complaints out of you when we had to cancel last week.
Oh no, it was okay. I got a good day drunk going on.
Okay.
Yeah, he wanted to
Nice.
see his Patriots win the Super Bowl and complete the
Right,
challenge.
his faves.
I actually was pulling for the Patriots. That's okay.
Oh, really? Interesting. Well, we'll get to all that in a little bit. And unfortunately, the unfortunate downside of that is that we Jen Snyder wasn't able to be our guest, but we're going to reschedule her and have her on in March or sooner if somebody else, has to reschedule. So,
Okay.
Because she's a lot of fun. But
Are you saying we're booked until March?
we're getting into that.
This is
here.
only mid-February.
I know. Well,
We're booked like 2 weeks in advance now.
no, we're booked.
Our show is smoking.
We're into March. Well, just listen to this, my friend.
Hey, this is 60
week-
minutes, Blair. Could you be on tomorrow? We don't have a guest.
Okay, so this week we are going to have for episode 104. I think it's still episode 104. Is that right? Yeah, episode 104.
In base 10, it would be 104, yes.
104, we're going to have a comedian from Comedy Central and all kinds of other amazing stuff. Ahmed Barucha. Woohoo! Yeah. And so he'll be on with us later. And then we're going to be taping next Sunday in front of a live audience at the North Carolina Comedy Arts Festival. And that's our guest there is going to be Joe Perot, also one of our contributors. And he is going to, Andy Woodhull was going to join us from The Tonight Show. He got a gig. We're going to reschedule. He's going to be on in March, as well as Samantha Ruddy's going to be on at the very end of February from College Humor. And Allie Amrine from Austin and all kinds of coolness is going to be on in March as well. So, yeah. So there you go. Several weeks ahead.
Allie Amrine from Austin?
Yeah.
A week after that, it's Billy Bean for Buffalo.
Right. It's all alliterative comics from now on.
Because booking them just out of the blue wasn't hard enough.
No, I decided to add a little extra sort of level of difficulty, and only comics who alliterated with the name of the city they're from. Or state.
Dan Dugan from Davenport, Iowa.
Yeah,
I'm
for
looking
example,
forward to that.
Just as an example.
All right.
Just as an example. All right, how's everybody doing here? Mr. Bishop, how are you doing? Uh-oh.
There you go. Now the pressure's really on.
Oh, God, Drew. Drew, sit up straighter.
I don't know what's going on.
This is like the background music for a gas commercial.
You're on notice, Drew, and so am I. God damn it.
I'm doing pretty well.
That should follow Bishop around.
Is that your theme music now?
What? What music?
Oh, no. Okay. No, maybe it was just in my own head as well as Drew's.
I didn't hear anything, Blair. What are you talking about?
Okay, just me. Wow. I do sometimes get a sense of dread, so maybe that's what it just sounds like now.
Maybe. No, I'm doing pretty well. How are you? I'm better.
You've recouped?
You're better than her? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, doing better than you.
Oh, okay.
How are you? I'm better.
I took it as feeling, physically better. But, you might be right about that, though, Gary. Okay. And, Drew, you're doing well?
I'm doing fantastic.
Fantastic.
Feeling funny.
Wow.
And fantastic.
Yeah. And Gary, you obviously are chipper. You're coming. It's very warm here in Wilmington today on February 12th. It's very sunny. It's in the middle 70s or so. So I think that's giving you a nice little kick of energy, Mr. Haynes, that you're using to torture your wife. Okay. Right. Well, guys, I think we can get into some fact checking. And first to do that, I'm going to call our. Let's see how this goes, because I confirmed, and we're kind of on again, off again.
What are you doing?
Is he taking a nap?
I'm calling Wills Maxwell, our ombudsman. And listeners, fact checking. This is the part of the podcast where we go over the mistakes we made last week to make room for the mistakes we're going to make this week. Really killing me.
And he doesn't answer you.
Hey, is this the wife, Blair Postman?
Oh, my goodness. We got a little nervous. I'm not going to lie. Is this Wills Maxwell or ombudsman?
Good sleeping weather, Blair.
You got nervous?
Yeah, we got a little nervous. I got a little nervous because it was the third ring.
Was it? Okay. I only heard two.
Of course.
I will stop being casual with you guys like you're someone calling me back from a date, and I'll just pick up on ring one.
Right.
Don't from now on to ease you.
Don't play us. Don't be coy.
If you hear Blair Postman's ring 1 week later, you die.
Oh well, the postman always does ring twice.
I'm surprised that isn't a horror movie name. Did you see that crap one they had? Bye Bye Man.
The poor man, Slender Man.
The Bye Bye Man.
It just sounds.
I was very intrigued just by the name.
Bye.
Make a guest appearance on My Fantasy Wife. 1 week later, you die.
Maybe we need to take some of that Patreon money and make a horror movie called Postman.
Oh, were you under the impression that we had Patreon money?
Blair Postman only rings once.
Yeah, Blair Postman only
rings once, then you die.
Rings once, and then I get nervous. So please don't make it ring twice. Well, there's some very, very ominous movie music being played
which
in the
no one but
background
Blair
now.
can hear.
Oh my God!
Very
No,
coincidental.
it's totally happening, Wills. They're trying to gaslight me, but I can hear it. I swear to God. All right.
I guess now's good a time as any for some fact checking.
Yes, it is. So what do we got from the last episode? Now we explained to the audience we had an unexpected illness last week, so this is actually from a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I hope everyone's feeling well. We had one person not feeling great last week and one person not feeling great the week before, so I hope all of you guys are healthy.
I think we've bounced back nicely. Thank you.
So this is kind of nitpicky. Factually, you guys were pretty much on point the whole episode.
Well, we rely on you for your nitpicking
Because I'm a
skills.
genius.
Okay. Well, I hope it's
At
about
one
you.
point, you asked. I don't think you got a clear answer on this on whether UNCW made the NCAA tournament last year. They did.
No.
What's that?
Yeah, I watched the game.
No,
There was no question.
we were wondering. We know that they made it last
You're
year.
nitpicking too
Gotcha.
much.
No, you're doing just enough. Go ahead, Wills.
They played Duke in the first
Right.
round. Was up at the half, and then Duke came back to win by 8.
Yeah, much like North Carolina, they choked in the
Yeah,
second
I think
half.
there was something else we weren't sure about with UNCW.
We
last
almost
year.
made it halfway through without.
Yeah. Oh well.
Said.
What else do you get? What else? What other terrible things? Breaches of truth and
Again,
justice.
I'm getting super nitpicky. You brought up the Huntress, and you mentioned in the Archer Challenge,
Yeah.
and you mentioned she was Batman and Catwoman's child,
Oh.
which is true in the first version of the Huntress, which is the Off-World Earth 2 Huntress.
Yeah.
But it's the main world version of the Huntress, which has been rebooted a few times, but in every version she is pretty much the daughter of someone who's been murdered by the Mafia and becomes a vigilante to wipe out the Mafia.
Oh. Okay.
She is
The
hell
kid
of
of Batman and
personality.
Catwoman's much more interesting.
I do love the world too, but I didn't know that. Okay, well, I don't think that's too nitpicky for our nerd listeners, of which there are many.
And then this one isn't so much a fact check as it is just a speculation. Mike Stanley brought up that Rocky's kid did not come see him. in
Right.
Creed.
Yes, comedian
After
Mike
he got
Stanley, who is an archer, and we were doing the best fictional archer of all time bracket challenge.
So this is speculation, but and this comes of course at the risk of giving you guys more story detail of Creed, which you should really see. It's amazing.
Right. We're going to see Creed. We're going to do that.
When Rocky gets diagnosed, he doesn't tell anybody. He doesn't even tell Adonis. He doesn't tell Creed. He doesn't tell anybody about it.
What about Adrian?
He keeps it to himself.
She's dead.
She's dead.
Long gone. Regrettably. But yeah. So
I only saw the first one, so I can't really follow this.
That's not true.
I saw the third and fourth, and that was it.
Oh, yeah.
Gary, you saw all the Rocky movies.
I think they should
What-
make one
which
with a
Rocky-
Russian. I think that would be interesting.
Which Rocky does Adrian die in?
It's a conceit of one of the Creed movie.
I think in 6 they come back. Rocky Balboa, they come back and she's passed away already. I don't think she's in. Rocky
Yeah, like we
Nice.
don't. Yeah, because she's moved on with her life.
Good.
Like because
And-
the actual actress. Yes.
And you guys might remember Sylvester Stallone got an Oscar nom for Creed, and it's probably just for the scene where it's a very beautiful scene where he goes to the cemetery. It seems like a routine, and he talks to Adrian and Mickey and reads the newspaper to them. Like it seems. Anyway.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
Dean Winchester shows up and throws salt on the grave, and their conversation is terminated.
That's a supernatural.
Supernatural,
illusion.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, that didn't happen. All right. Well,
So he doesn't tell anyone. So my guess is that his son isn't aware that he's going through cancer treatment because Creed only finds out by coming across a pamphlet and confronting him.
Hey,
My
Wills,
guess
Wills,
is he's
Wills.
listening in
I
secret.
got a question
Yeah.
for you. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I know what he's talking about.
All right.
Mike Stanley got upset because
Who?
shut up.
So I feel like I set that up. I feel like I explained myself.
I think you
pretty
did.
clear.
Gary's very sassy today. Gary's setting himself up for a very sassy episode.
Mm.
And now,
All right.
was there anything else fact checking?
Nope.
Wise?
That is it. I had to
Wow,
scrape the,
that was a pretty clean
I had to scrape
episode.
The bottom barrel.
Mills
Yeah.
Waxwell, the Greg Oden of Ombudsman.
That Gary's.
Oh, did you watch that E60 today?
That was very interesting.
It was
wasn't
it was
I told,
great.
I told Blair, but she didn't get to see it. That
Okay,
was
well,
fantastic.
we,
It was
we
really
will
good.
hit
All
that.
right.
We'll hit that later. Hey, I'm sorry you're not going to be able to join us next week at the North Carolina Comedy Arts Festival show, but
No,
we'll hit you
I'm
the
bummed.
week
I hope you
after.
guys have time.
All right, man. Well, we'll catch you in 2 weeks then.
All right. I'll see
We'll
you
try
later.
to make a lot more better mistakes. How about like that? That was
Right.
probably grammatically.
That's not necessary.
Oh
That's
no!
okay.
You know what? For you, we'll do
You
it.
really don't have to.
Oh no!
Hey, and in the meantime, just make sure your knee doesn't split in half, you don't succumb to alcoholism,
Okay.
and your mom doesn't see nude pictures of you.
Okay, this is from a ESPN show that Gary wants to
Just
tell
don't
everyone
do any
about.
of that.
Okay, it's not about you, Wills. Okay,
Not yet.
all right.
Not yet.
Thanks, Wills.
All right, I'll talk to you guys later.
Bye. Woo! Look at that.
All right, well, it ruined his day. Who's next?
Why are you so sassy today?
I don't know. Because I got to go to work. I'm not happy.
Sassafras. You're trying to get yourself.
Normally,
pumped
I've
up.
come from work, and then I'm happy.
Oh, so you're lashing out.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
What time do you have to work till?
3 o'clock until we finish inventorying the entire store, which should be, I don't know, 4 or 5 in the morning.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, there's no.
Oh, but we
room-
get free pizza from Little Caesars, so I shouldn't
I mean,
complain.
that's worth it right there.
Well, okay. Well, let's. Why ruin everyone else's day who's listening to this?
Because
podcast?
I have to do
We're
it.
making the people happy. Damn it! All right, Mr. Bishop. Can we have a little hot topics? Change music. Something. I don't know. Whatever you're feeling. Whatever you.
I was feeling that Creed you were playing in the background.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. Yeah, I like it. It was nice time. All right, guys. Hot topics time. Wait. Why don't we start with your Greg Oden ESPN
Who?
E60? Stop it. Tell us about this. We haven't talked about one of the. It's not
Yes.
a 30 for 30.
Well,
but
I
it's
don't
a
know what it
E60.
was because I only heard it on the radio and I got the shortened version,
Oh,
I guess. But it was
okay.
fascinating.
Yeah, well, the E60 report came out this morning.
Yeah. So first of all, Portland Trailblazers 1984 draft Sam Bowie, superstar center from Kentucky, with a checkered health background. And he played like one game for them ever, and it was a complete disaster and waste of first round and the whole draft pick. Meanwhile, Michael Jordan and Hakeem Olajuwon were picks number 2 and 3. Well, Olajuwon was 2 and Jordan was 3, and they passed on both of those guys to take Sam Bowie.
Yeah.
So 20 years go by, and all of a sudden they win the lottery and find themselves with another number 1 draft pick, and they decide that they're going to take Greg Oden. And
Who wasn't that bad? Was at the time was a fantastic pick.
well, it was. I mean, he was 1 year in college, so he was 19 years old, and
Took his team to the championship.
yes, and they won the championship, right?
No, they lost
Did
to
they
Florida.
lose? They lost. Okay, but they got all the way to
Where'd
the
he go?
championship game.
Where was it?
Ohio State.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is the part I love. His college teammate at Ohio State was Mike Conley, who is now like NBA, one of the better point guards in the NBA. They were on the same high school team.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the two of them on a high school team? That
It's
team,
like us being on the same podcast.
It's 2/5 of the All-American team in college from the next year being on high school 1 year earlier. It's crazy.
Nobody
that's
liked-
crazy. That had to be
nobody
one of the great like high school teammate
you
combinations.
didn't like my
ever.
metaphor about that.
I'm sorry. Did you say something?
No, go ahead. Keep
Okay.
going.
So, they take him and they ignore. Oh, help me! What's his face? What's his name?
Dr. Andrews.
No, the guy that now plays for Golden State that played for Oklahoma
Don't you
State.
have your
Oh,
phone?
yeah, Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant. They ignore Kevin Durant, who was the second pick, who turns into
Seattle Supersonics.
Yeah, and pretty universally, like even at the time, nobody really complained about that because he and LeBron James probably the two best guys like directly out of high school in the last 20 years. Like some of the
Kevin
guys went to
Durant
college and got
killed
better,
it in
but
college.
Yes.
He killed it that one
He
year
did.
at Texas.
He did, but Texas is not a high-profile college basketball pro. Although
Yeah,
really,
that's why I
Ohio
can't-
State isn't either
Right.
at the time. So I don't know. I don't know. It was pretty much universally regarded the right pick. He was going to be the next, greatest defensive center in the NBA.
He's going to
since
be the
Bill
next
Russell.
Shaq.
Yeah,
Bill Russell.
And so the offseason before his rookie year, they know that they've got to play the Lakers all season long. They're in the same conference. So he played college basketball at 270 pounds, and everybody said he ran like a deer. They wanted him to gain weight to play with Shaq. So he reported to camp at 315 pounds. And about halfway through the preseason game, he just woke up one morning, his knee was the size of a football. And they did a lot of tests and found out that he had a crack in his kneecap and had to have microsurgery on his kneecap. And he missed his entire rookie year. So I guess as he sat around doing nothing, unable to play with his leg in an air cast, he started drinking. And he was taking a lot of pain pills. And he got to where he had a real alcohol problem.
Just trying to have a good time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
real alcohol
I mean,
problem.
what else are you going to do?
Right.
So,
Well, I don't know.
And
You
the thing
know,
is, the-
yoga.
the thing
you
about
could
this-
read some books.
No one wants
you
to do
could
that, Blair.
study.
He went to college for that.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, he's actually going to college for that now.
He's in
Well,
10
years
don't
later.
ruin the end.
So he had all those problems. He comes back the next year. He plays like 5 or 10 games, and he's averaging like 10 points and a couple of rebounds, and he's starting to get back into the swing of it. And all of a sudden, he goes up to block a shot, and something about the torque of the way he jumped, his kneecap split completely in half.
I just
Yeah.
I want
And like
Can you
went off to
imagine
both
that?
sides of his knee.
time out for 1 second.
Yes.
I want America to know that, and Canada, to know that as you're telling this, like Drew is reliving it. Like he's looking at his head, he's nodding, he's like shaking his head. It was apparently awful.
Well, I would suggest to you that if you want America to know that, we need to work on pulling our ratings up a little bit.
Okay, well, it's parts of America and Canada to know.
There's Sassy Gary.
Yeah, okay, Sassy Gary.
Right.
Gary, you know,
certain parts of Ireland, we want them to know.
Yeah, we also usually get about 4 or 5 hits from Ireland
really?
each episode. Yeah,
it's because I'm on there.
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay, so
it's my family over there.
Oh, okay. So he ruins his knee.
Drew O'Harrison.
Yep.
Yes.
Out. That was a knee.
Yeah, it was a knee crack.
That's probably what the players on the court heard. That.
Yeah. It was evidently really bad. Like everybody started walking away, and like the doctor wouldn't let him look at his leg and all that stuff. It must have been really bad.
Okay.
So he's recovering from that, and all of a sudden, photographs surface on the internet of him naked and doing unsightly things with his unsightly parts. And
what kind of unsightly things was he doing with his unsightly parts?
He was putting hats on it.
Yeah. Hey, drew a little mustache.
He was making like puppets
hot
out
for
of it.
bot.
Hey, right. He evidently had some sort of dirty sexting affair with a woman who then put all the pictures of him on the internet. And he said that of all the things
that's not a trust building move in a relationship.
Of all the things that happened to him, he said that was hard. He said he didn't leave his room for a week. And so,
because he just got a refill in all his pain meds.
Right, exactly. And he had a big bottle of tequila. No, he said like his mom saw him and like he was mortified, so he couldn't come out of his room. So
I mean, mom's already seen it.
The mom needs to know. Okay.
So
I think maybe if you're
five
the mom,
years
you
go
don't
by,
like...
3 more major knee surgeries, and he plays a total of like 30 games. and he
Do you guys hear that? It's like Jaws.
What are you talking about?
Do you guys hear the Jaws music?
I didn't hear anything.
I think it's in your head.
Did you play?
No, seriously, I didn't play any Jaws music.
Or some kind of music?
No, there's things not even turned up. This is the thing right here. You're
All
really
right, never
losing your
mind.
mind now.
Okay.
Is there a medical
Blair,
term?
we were fucking with
Is
you.
there a medical term for when you hear the theme from Jaws in your head, but it's not really playing? Boom shakalaka.
Oh,
I don't know.
Okay, finish this because we got other important.
Right,
We haven't even talked about the Super Bowl yet.
So 3 years later,
Well, you're the one talking about the Jaws thing. What are you? You're throwing in.
if you could try to cut down imaginary things you hear in your head,
I'm
we get
hearing
through
a
this
lot
faster.
of creepy music. Maybe I'm working too hard. I don't know.
Yeah. So so 3 years later, 3 more major knee surgeries, and he is cut by the team that drafted him number 1. And so then
And
he
P.S.
signs on.
This is terrible for the Portland has some bad luck with this.
And the thing about this too is, as you're listening to this, he's being interviewed and talking about it all along, and he's extremely well spoken and likable. Like it's just
get to the end.
makes
of
it worse.
What's,
so he gets picked up by Miami on their drive to their championship, and he's a backup center on that Miami team with LeBron that won the championship. And
does he get a ring?
And then, I guess he gets a ring.
Oh, thank
and
God!
Then,
Something.
And then he didn't really play. But
I don't care. I just want this guy to have something.
And then in the offseason, as he's feeling better and better, all of a sudden,
money. He's okay.
All of a sudden, he's convicted of assaulting his ex-girlfriend.
Oh, that's
and he's telling
not
the
good.
story. His mother was in the room, and his mother and his brother or somebody were trying to hold him back, and he threw him off him and punched the girl in the face.
See, now do you want good things for him, Blair?
But that's the great thing about. You tell me if you think differently. The great thing about this was he was very likable, even while telling that story. He was so smart and so obviously sorry for what he did.
Was he, or was he like
Sounded
a sociopath?
Like
no, he seemed.
He
sorry.
seemed really.
Was he drunk? Was he on drugs?
It was the pain.
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
So
I can let that go only if you feel like he started to do something. Do you guys hear that?
What? What?
There was a really forbidding. It was kind of like the theme from Jaws, where he's like creeping up,
right? Like a shark.
The climax,
right?
Yeah.
No, I didn't hear
Jaws again.
I didn't hear.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow. So anyway,
I mean, I got a lot of sleep last night. Like, I feel like, I've been doing a lot of gigs. I mean, that's good, and I've been working real hard, and I've been doing some extra stuff for the podcast. Maybe it's getting to be a little too much. Anyway, all right, never mind. Sorry.
So he gets cut by the Heat in the offseason because they don't want all the publicity. And so then he goes to China. And he said that for the first time in their years and years, he felt really good.
Did you guys hear that one? Because that was a little more uplifting.
China.
I mean, the
music.
No, I mean, the story's taking uplifting.
Oh, okay. Well, go ahead, Gary.
And he thinks he's going to play a year in China and be able to come back. And he's feeling the best he's ever felt. And like preseason game 1, he gets off the plane, plays that night, breaks his thumb. And then for like a month, it was just a series of bad health things one after another. And finally, he quits, comes home in the middle of the season, and then decides to go back. Now that I heard, decides to go. I think Lewis was eating a pretzel.
Maybe.
Pretzel.
He's like
Or
he's a very accomplished Foley artist
Yeah.
as
Have
well as sound engineer.
Have you seen the new Cheetos? They're called Greg Oden's knees.
Oh.
Oh, too soon.
You know, I like the idea. Actually, you have a whole Foley artist studio within this recording studio, don't you, Lewis?
Yes, I do, yes.
You got like the high heels for the running and
Right.
the sound.
Coconuts.
Yeah, the stuff that sounds like a rainmaking that's like
He's
a bunch
really
of beads.
cracking lobster.
Yeah,
claws.
lobster claws. He's so good.
And he's got Greg Oden's actual knee that he hits with a hammer.
Right. I think, you know what? I take back whatever insecurity made me say at the beginning of the episode. You're right. Mr. Bishop is perfect.
Yeah, I know.
Drew and I need to, Oh, okay. Oh, gosh.
He actually
it's a
bought
waste. Yeah, one
Greg
level
Oden's
I'm like,
kneecap off eBay.
Yeah, and one
Nice.
level I'm like, wow, that must have been expensive. But on another level, I'm like, he's a professional. Mr. Bishop is a professional.
Either that or he's eating walnuts.
Yeah,
I can't
okay.
decide.
Okay, so finish
So anyway,
this.
it comes home.
This is so long.
And so-
we're going to have 2 minutes for the Super Bowl.
And so, this was better than the Super Bowl. It was more entertaining throughout it. The Super Bowl
Okay.
was better at the end.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll get that.
So then now, I guess this year he comes home, he retires from the NBA, and he's at Ohio State as a assistant, like student assistant coach on the basketball team, and he's back full time taking classes, taking 16 credits.
Prostitute getter.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Whore wrangler.
Wow.
Well, he's big.
What?
He's big with a history of beating women. He
did
can
you
handle
say-
that job.
Oh, that's not funny.
I agree.
Boo.
It's horrible.
Dude, but I thought you said he'd been being
Oh,
a better
yeah.
person
yeah,
now.
I did say that. All right. Well, never mind. So he brought it up. It's not my
Yeah,
fault.
sorry.
Do they do that there? Or
Who?
Is, oh,
Oh, I think they all do.
Does who do
oh,
what?
no, that was Kentucky. I was thinking
yeah,
of.
that's what
But
I'm
it
saying.
wasn't just Kentucky. It's North Carolina
Right.
also.
Okay. Well, speaking of which, before we get to the Super, okay, that's interesting. It's Greg Oden.
Yeah, and he
He's
seems to have
16.
recovered from all that, and he's got a nice majoring in some sports business thing, and he'll probably be the coach of Ohio State in 5 years. Who knows?
Okay. Well, if he doesn't sell tapes of their performance,
If he doesn't rip his leg off in practice because somebody rolls into it.
Hopefully
He's
he
a
won't
horrible luck with injuries.
Hopefully he won't send some
They
student on Ohio State.
Okay, because we have very little
Penis
time, and we
pics
have to talk
Well,
about
one last
a
thing.
certain basketball game. And
Yes. They said that when they did his medical interview before the draft, they put him in an MRI machine and checked everything on his body. His knees were pristine. That was the exact words.
pristine
So
knees.
you just can't predict these things.
I wonder if I have pristine knees. I'm guessing no. All right. Well, all right.
I used to
Listen.
date her in college.
Pristine. That's Christine Pease.
Oh,
She was
right.
different. All right, guys. So that was very interesting. Thanks for the book report. I'll have to catch on an ESPN, practically the same length of what we just did. Is there a little change of topic, maybe? Hey guys, remember the Super Bowl?
No. What happened?
Well, there was the only
Were the Cowboys
time,
in it?
No.
Then America doesn't care.
But you did wear your Cowboys
No one
t-shirt.
cares about the Cowboys.
Just the highlight. Obviously, the first overtime in Super Bowl history, and some people say it's a terrible overtime.
Should have been
rule.
St. Louis and the Patriots 10 years ago. Should have been the first overtime in history, but I got
Oh, that is-
F-worded.
Yeah. Why we're not saying that now?
No.
We're not on
It's a
broadcast.
family show.
I take it you had money on the game.
I had bet $100 at 50-1 that it would go to overtime.
So wait a second.
And
I
St.
tell
Louis
you, we
scored
have-
with 30 seconds left to tie it, and the announcer goes, "They're not even going to take a play. They're just going to fall on the ball and go to overtime." And then Brady moves them with 3 passes. They get down 1 second on the clock, kick a field goal, and I lose $5,000.
Okay. So when I say, "Hey, we've only got a few minutes and we got to talk about the Super Bowl,"
Did you hear how fast I told that story?
You immediately launch
That's
into
pretty
a
fast.
Super Bowl.
Because
from 10
normally
years
I
ago.
say I lose $5,000. That's how I normally tell it.
That's true.
So I sped it up just for you, but fuck it, Gary.
Wow, Gary's really not happy about going to work for 12 hours. All right, guys.
Can you tell?
But seriously, the first overtime in history, I kind of like a lot of people, I think I was rooting sort of more against the Patriots than for the Falcons, but I did stress eat some chocolate cake. I admit that. Gary made some really nice food.
Pigs and blankets we had.
Pigs and homemade pigs and black, like the really, the fancy ones.
Fancy
The
we are
snazzy
the
ones.
finest of crescent rolls.
Yeah, yes, we did. So, but what is their takeaway there? And now, I guess also, Tom Brady didn't go to the White House when Obama was president, and now some other Patriots aren't going to the White House. I think whatever. I think. It's a little unfortunate in the abstract. You like to think everybody would just kind of go to the White House.
They
and
just
make
need to
people-
get
How's
rid
a
of that.
black
I
man
think they
going to go
just-
to the White House?
Just get rid of it. That's all they gotta
a black
do.
man lived there for 8 years.
And the White House.
No,
Just
no,
get rid
it's
of the
because of
visit
Trump.
altogether, and we don't have to worry about this.
Yeah,
who's
I-
going and who's not.
Yeah, and there's
Bullshit.
a lot of people. I think it's fine. I don't think Kraft.
None
or
of the
anybody-
illegal immigrants on the Patriots went to the White House. And I
Right.
can't blame them, given
Right.
the current climate.
Aaron Hernandez said he was not going to the
Yeah.
White House.
Right,
As part
and-
of this Patriots team.
And somebody from the Cubs didn't go when Obama had that event before he left office. I'm personally, it's just a big photo op for the president, whoever the president is.
There was a
whatever.
There was a very funny meme of Aaron Hernandez sitting at the defense table in prison uniform, and the heading was that look you get on your face when you realize that you could have won 2 Super Bowls and made $40 million, and all you had to do was not murder 3 people.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, seriously, is there any takeaway? I mean, if you guys don't want to talk about the Super Bowl, it's fine with me, except that Mr. Lewis Bishop was the big winner of our Super Bowl, or our playoff bracket.
Congratulations.
Congratulations,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Bishop.
Well, it took long enough for me to get my money. That's
if you hadn't,
one issue. But,
when did I see you? I had to go out of town a couple of nights.
Well, I mean,
you got it in cash.
We do live in the same town, you know.
Oh my gosh! Are you threatening me? Are you coming at me?
You're putting words in my mouth.
All right.
It's recorded.
I had to
here.
get the other judges to look at it, make sure I didn't make any mistakes. It was closer than you think. Melissa Downey
She actually did have
lost
to
by
get the
2
other
points.
judges to look at it and make sure she didn't make any mistakes.
Right. I understand.
Melissa Downey only lost by 2 points. Sorry, Melissa.
Yeah.
But did you get the money?
I did.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. You know, I normally like my money the night of, but
Super Bowl night.
If it takes,
Super Bowl is 11 o'clock at night.
If it takes,
you didn't ask for it right away.
If it takes a week to get it, then that's it's fine. It's just.
This is
when you have a car loan due on Monday and you don't get paid till Friday, certain arrangements have to be made.
No, that's not true. All the money was there. Everything was fine. I thought I would just naturally give it to him sort of ceremonially at the next podcast recording.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't very much ceremony. You more just threw it in my face.
No, I didn't throw it.
This is you.
I would love to see the scenario in which I am angrily throwing money at Mr. Bishop's face.
I think you do it every week.
I don't. Stop
Here's your $10, bitch.
No, stop it.
Gary's even got the correct quote.
Okay.
Wow. No, yes, thank you very much.
I'm getting a lot of crap this episode.
I only picked 2 games wrong, and it was nice. It's
good.
And I should have picked no games wrong. I went with 2 with my heart instead of my
that'll
head.
Teach you.
I went with the Raiders with my heart, and then I went with the Cowboys with Gary's heart.
With Gary's heart.
Should have never done that.
With the cow valve heart.
The Cowboys should have won that game.
Yeah. So that was a close one, but yeah. So
all right. Well covered. Well, we don't have a lot of time. I think if there's nothing else about the Super Bowl, I'm gonna.
God damn it! I hadn't thought about that in like 3 weeks. Who's a fucking second string tight end catch a 34-yard pass with 10 seconds on the clock? Why would you not just drop everybody back in coverage?
Oh, is this
Why?
the Cowboys?
Why?
Are we talking about the
Why?
Cowboys? I would do it if I knew how all those things work together.
Unbelievable. All right, sorry. Go ahead.
You know what? That's fine. I think that's good for you to let it out.
yeah.
All right, little quick hot topics, change of music there. We got one more thing that I think we're going to get to. We're not going to get to Dolan and Oakley. We're not going to get to Bob Costas retiring.
Come on. Why can't... Those are more
No one
important.
gets to Oakley.
Oh, there was a basketball game in college. Basketball game, UNC Duke. Go ahead, Gary. You got 2 minutes.
I didn't see it. What happened?
Duke won the basketball match. And
yeah.
you did see it.
I don't know. Better team won. Happens every day.
The better team did not win.
What does this mean? Does it mean anything?
No, not really.
Okay. Does it
They're
mean...
both going to make the tournament. It just doesn't matter.
Right.
Right, Drew?
Yep.
All right.
Why? You're being rather
I would
mellow
rather
about...
not talk about it.
This is the one thing that you're being mellow about.
I mean, I just know Carolina's meant for greater things this year, so I'm okay about
Yeah,
it.
they could meet again in the finals. I mean, who knows?
Okay.
They're both pretty good.
I did see where they released the projected brackets already.
Right.
Yeah.
And they had Duke as a 4 seed. That was kind of...
Well, they're only ranked 18th.
Weird.
They've
I know,
lost a
but-
few games.
yeah,
but
but
they,
still.
anytime you have a young team
It's a
like that, they're going
dangerous
to
ass
get
4 seed,
better. Well, I agree. What do they have Carolina as?
2.
It's a dangerous too.
Yeah.
They're both. I'm telling you,
The number 1 picks were Gonzaga, Baylor, Villanova, and Kansas.
all these teams in the AC would be ranked higher if they weren't all in the ACC.
Right.
They can't put everybody in the top. They just can't do it. It's just like the SEC. They never get ranked. The 8th team in the SEC really is probably still in the top 20, but they can't do it.
No.
So
All right.
Well, you got I'm excited. The Pac-12's been fantastic this year, too. So the other conferences are finally stepping up. It's just the ACC is still the gold standard.
yeah. Oh, there's one thing I forgot.
Yeah, what's up?
Sorry.
There we go.
Was that for... Oh, that
No,
for...
that's-
You know what that was for.
Okay. Okay, Okay, guys. Well, this has been quite a fast-paced go-get-'em episode so far.
I'm still want to learn more about Greg Oden.
Well,
I know, right? That thing was really good.
poor Will's going to have to, it's going to be me next week, fact check. I'm going to have to watch it so I can fact check everything you said about that E60. But that's okay.
Yeah,
I like
because
that
Will's is buying that turkey farm.
What? I don't
Has to make sure all the house passes all the testing and stuff.
I don't want to know where this. I'm worried about where this is
I'm
going.
worried about it too. I want you to think about it. I don't want you to say it. I don't know what it is. We're gonna let it go. We're gonna let it hang there.
All right.
All right.
We can tell you about it.
I think it's time to. I think it's time to call our guest, Ahmed Barucha.
Who is our guest today?
Ahmed Barucha.
Okay.
Barucha.
Okay.
That was exactly 2 minutes and 4 seconds of Ernest Tubbs' waltz across Texas.
Oh.
Wow.
You guys heard that too? God,
Ernest
thank
Tubbs.
God. I was gonna say, do you guys hear that waltz? But then I got nervous.
worried about that.
I thought because I don't know how.
Why did we play waltz?
Well, she said
waltz
you-
across Texas.
She said you had 2 minutes, and I knew that song was like 2 minutes and 15 seconds.
'Cause
so-
he's
Aren't
a
most songs from
professional.
that era about 2 minutes and 15
Probably,
seconds?
yeah.
All right.
But he's a professional. All right, let's call Ahmed Barucha.
I like that kind
Oh,
of music.
okay. Well, wrong
Gary,
one.
can you hold this,
There we
please?
go.
Sure.
Thank you very much. I feel good about him answering.
Well, you felt good about Will's answering.
I know, but not in the whole
And he did.
time. He did, but whew. But now I've been hearing.
Hello?
Is this Ahmed?
Yeah.
This is Blair Postman, and you're on the air with my Fantasy Wife podcast. How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Good. Hey, first I'm going to introduce you to who else is in the studio with me. I've got my husband and sports stat expert, Mr. Gary Hames.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, Gary.
And we've got comedian and pet nurse, our social media maven, Mr. Drew Harrison.
Hey man, how you doing?
Hello, Drew.
And rounding things out, we've got comedian, sound engineer, and man about town, Mr. Louis Bishop.
Hi.
Hi, Louie.
It's good to have you on. I'm going to read a little bio about you for the listeners, if you don't mind hanging on.
Listener.
Yeah,
Sure, no.
there's more than one listener, Gary. Ahmed Barucha has been on Conan and Comedy Central. He's a veteran of those shows. He's half Irish Catholic, half Pakistani, Indian, Burmese Muslim, and wholly a master of punctuating striking social commentary with high-energy theatrics. During high school, his family relocated from Santa Barbara to Rhode Island, where Barucha made the leap from Stitches Comedy Club dishwasher to open micer. While attending the University of Rhode Island, he frequented Boston's comedy studio, becoming a comic in residence in the process. Everyone, big round of applause for Ahmed Barucha. Woo!
Thank you.
Well, thanks for
That was very
joining.
nice.
Yeah, thanks for joining. You've had a busy year or so. Is that right? You released your album. You had your Comedy Central 30-minute special.
Yeah.
I think you got married in there.
Yeah.
What's the most fun thing that's happened to you in the past year or so? Other than the
Well,
marriage, because I know that was the
yeah,
best
wedding
part.
was
Yeah.
that was the best. The half hour and the, recording the album were, two things I've been wanting to do since I was a kid. So it was kind of cool they happened at the same time around. And recording the album might have been my favorite because it was, I got to do 5 shows in a row, and they're all good crowds, and it was really fun to kind of finish the bookend on that first part of my career.
Yeah, I mean,
My
and
first album.
congratulations, because obviously you started out, in college, really, it looks like, and you were a dishwasher at Stitches Comedy Club. How do you make, so you've been working at this forever, so congratulations on every success. But what is the jump like when you are the dishwasher, and there's probably been 1,000 guys who've been in the kitchen before you at the comedy club who think they're funny? I mean, was that difficult to ask to go up, or had they seen you elsewhere?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Well, I'm a pretty shy person off stage, and
Right.
So they were actually really shocked. I worked there for a year before I mentioned it,
Right?
and one of the waitresses used to call me mute because I wouldn't talk very much.
Right?
So when I finally told them I wanted to go on stage, they were like, "Oh, okay, sure."
Oh, like the poor
But
kid,
yeah,
we'll
they-
let him
but they
go
were
up.
Pretty supportive.
Well-
yeah, once I went up, I think they were like, "Oh, okay, cool."
they were all like rooting for me, so that was cool.
That's nice. And plus, I mean, how many guys, last at least a year in dishwashing at the comedy club? So you were probably already one of their favorite employees anyhow.
You're soaking in it.
I did. Yeah, I moved up to busboy.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, congrats.
Hey.
Was that based on your stand-up or, strictly your work ethic?
I wanted to be busboy so I could watch more of the comedy.
Right.
Right.
Like,
Good.
can I go out there.
Yeah, good move. Good move. Well, as we do with all of our guests, we ask you, because we tend to talk less about comedy with our comedian guests, but more about the sports stuff they're interested in. And from what you told me, you are a huge hockey fan, and you are specifically a Kings fan.
Yeah, I love the Kings. I grew up in California, so I was like when Gretzky was there. That's when I was a kid watching hockey, and I started playing hockey. And so
that's interesting because I was kind of thinking maybe it was the time in Rhode Island and Boston that made you a hockey fan, but it was. I mean, I grew up in northeastern New Jersey, just outside New York City. I have no claim to any great knowledge of hockey. Drew and Gary do. But it's just so interesting to me to hear somebody say, "Oh, it was my time in Los Angeles that made me a huge hockey fan."
Wait a minute, you have no claim to
playing roller hockey, and then I moved to Rhode Island, and then I started playing ice. So that. I mean, Rhode Island did help a lot with my passion for it.
Had more ice.
Get to play on ice.
Yeah, right. And for the ice hockey, but because you played in high school and maybe a little in college, is that right?
Yeah, I played high school hockey team, and then intramurals in college, and then I still play pickup now and then as an adult when I'm not too lazy. Right.
And did you ever get into any little bouts, little skirmishes? Were you an enforcer there on the ice in the high school Rhode Island league?
No, I'm pretty small, so I was kind of more of stick handler, playmaker. And then when there was fights, I'd be grabbing people off and trying to break it up.
Guys, come on, be nice.
Yeah, I'd always try to make the guy up in the face-off laugh because I was usually center, so I'd always try to goof off with the other guy.
Well, that sounds like a very prescient for your future life tactic to try to win people over.
Yeah, exactly.
And so you wouldn't
if he likes me, he's not going to hit me.
Right, so you wouldn't get pushed around a lot.
Breaking up hockey fights and washing dishes.
All right.
Well,
Drew and Gary, you guys are our hockey experts. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, I'm a hockey expert.
Well, I mean, Drew definitely, as you were back in the day. What about this Kings? Because you're shaking your head over there.
I mean, I'm a Blackhawks fan, so I can't be excited about him being a Kings fan.
Well, I was just laughing because when he said he grew
my
up.
wife's a Wings fan, so I really can't be a Blackhawks fan. She would not forgive me.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's fair enough.
And I grew up with.
I do like Roenick. Gary Roenick used to be one of my favorite players.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Great. I like how he tucked in the jersey.
I grew up with hockey cards, and I loved hockey because I liked the hockey cards when I was 8 and 9 years old. But I couldn't be a Kings fan because they didn't exist.
Right. That's the thing. A lot of Well, and it's funny for me too because I have this.
Almost as if I'm older.
Yeah, it almost is as if we've aged.
We know that's not true because look at me.
Yeah, I know you look amazing, Gary.
20.
But I grew up where I grew up, and obviously, the Rangers and then the Islanders and the Devils came on later. And then to see all these teams go, to Florida and actually here in North Carolina where we're based, in Raleigh's the Hurricanes. And Drew, you're a big hockey fan, but you grew up in North Carolina, so it's not. I mean, this isn't typical hockey, traditional hockey. Do you think most of the fans in places like, and I'll throw this out to you, Ahmed, but also Drew, the places like L.A. and Florida and North Carolina, are most of the people in the fan base of those hockey teams transplants, or have they grown their bases of fans?
Well, I think Gretzky was a huge part of why people in California, they brought the superstar. So I think at least with Gretzky, they weren't transplants; they were new hockey fans.
Okay.
Yeah. They became hockey fans.
And wasn't his daughter super hot too? That probably helps in Southern California.
I think it was his wife.
His wife and
but the daughter.
Even she was
I believe
when she was pregnant, she was still smoking hot.
Oh, yeah.
It can happen.
The same thing in North Carolina.
Well, no, not that, but I mean,
I know. I'm just teasing. I'm just being a jerk. Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead, Drew.
But I have a question. Was the baby good looking when it was inside of her? They're like,
that was one good looking
it was
fetus.
An ugly baby.
Right.
No teeth.
Oh my God!
Toothless baby.
Yeah, they released the ultrasound as a major motion picture.
Right, exactly. What were you going to say about the North Carolina fans, Drew?
North Carolina saw a resurgence in hockey when the Canes won the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
That'll do it. Well, I was going to ask, before we jump into our game, I was going to ask you all, like, it seems, there was a strike, 8 years ago? Something like that? Strike or 8 years or so ago. And there's been diminishing fan attendance and stuff. Maybe it's making a bit of a comeback, but what are a couple of things that you think if you had your magic wand, the NHL would do to help the Americans fall back in love with hockey again? It was
04-05.
04-05. Okay, so longer. So like 13 years ago. And I did, when I was in Toronto for a festival last year, and I did go to the Hockey Hall of Fame. So Canadians do not need to fall in love with hockey again. They're good. But what would we need to do to make lots of Americans fall in love with hockey again? Remember when they tried that red dot, on the TV and stuff?
Yeah, that was weird. I didn't like that because
a lot of people didn't.
Because I already liked hockey. I don't know. It's kind of hard. I guess probably in America, maybe if there was a lot more fights, people would get back into it.
I'm going to write this.
Maybe if the scoring was higher, like maybe make the net bigger or the goalie pad smaller or something.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, actually, more scoring does, because that's the same problem with, Americans don't like soccer because there's like one goal game potentially.
Yeah, no, make the goal 7 points and then institute a field goal that's worth 3 and put it out in the middle of the ice. And play on natural grass instead of ice. And wear these big pads, everybody.
I myself think it's perfect.
11 to a side.
But, yeah.
I think they just need to get kids into it. Because the whole reason I like hockey is because I played it as a kid.
Yeah.
That's true.
What if you get a point if you win the fight?
Ooh.
I like that.
You know what?
Yeah,
That's an idea.
They were going to have Brock Lesnar on a hockey team somewhere.
Well, I mean, whatever. It does, but yeah, so you win. You get a point if you win the
So
fight.
we also need like a boxing ref. Like one of the refs also has to be like the fight ref.
But those
it goes to the judge's scorecard.
To the judge's scorecard if necessary.
But those teams already
the head is a couple points.
Right, exactly.
But they all already have a guy who can't really skate that's like the fighter.
Yeah.
So you could have Brock Lesnar. Some of these teams now you got to carry their guy out on the ice because he can't skate, and you set him on the other guy, and he beats him up.
Right. This would just give him something very specific to do.
Yeah,
like
we just have to have another referee to count the points. That's a great idea.
You know what?
For that.
That's brilliant.
Thank you,
Mr. Bishop.
Also, I have another idea.
Yes.
Bring back the cartoon Pro Stars with hockey players and baseball players and basketball players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Or clone the Hanson brother. With the state of cloning now, you could clone just about.
Well, they were clones, really.
Require 3 Hanson brothers on every team.
They were like natural clones.
Yeah.
Or I think if they maybe put more hockey players in like movies, because I think hockey players to me are like the funniest athletes.
Yeah.
They're just like,
they're
not aggressive. They're just kind of like dumb idiots.
They're just out there
cocky.
skate and push people
because
around.
they're all Canadian.
Yeah, well, there is a lot of Canadians.
That's the fun of the beer leagues, is hanging out with everyone and shooting the shit in the parking lot.
Yeah.
And not to be too real, but I think part of the problem with the kids is just it's expensive. Ice time's expensive.
But I didn't spend that much money. Well, ice is, but I mean, I fell in love with hockey playing roller hockey.
Well, maybe that's the thing.
That's not as expensive.
To start them in the roller hockey, maybe that's the thing. Well, speaking of the Hanson brothers, I would like to. We always come up with a game, Ahmed, about something having to do with the sports likes of our guest. And so what we came up with here is the name the hockey or ice sport movie, because I made an exception. Name the hockey or ice sport movie that this movie quote comes from. So we're gonna name. We're gonna read off some quotes, and there aren't that many, not that many.
Okay.
Some of them are a little obscure. Some of them we might have to explain why it counts. But we're going to go ahead and start. I'm reserving number 1 for me. So, Drew, why don't you start with any other one on there?
All right. Where did that one go that I wanted to read?
There's a second page also.
Oh, yeah. Stay away from my fucking Percocets. And do you have any fucking Percocets, man?
What movie is that from?
Slapshot?
No. Do you want to take I'm going to let you take a second guess.
Okay, stay away from my Percocets.
Stay away from my fucking Percocets, and do you have any fucking Percocets, man?
I thought Drew
Are you
was
talking or are
asking
you
me
reading a
question.
quote?
I'm quoting quote.
Are you
Asking
talking or are
me a
you reading a
question.
quote?
I'm
Is
quoting
it
quote.
Goon?
Yes,
Is
it
it
is
Goon?
Goon. It is Goon.
Oh, okay.
I love that movie.
That's
Dune.
a
It was
really
great.
good
That
movie.
science
That's
fiction
great
movie about
movie.
spies.
No, it's
No?
not about space. No, that's Dune.
Dune.
Gary.
Oh, okay, sorry.
This is Goon. All right, I'm going to give you a half a point because that was a really obscure
Okay.
movie. Let's see, Gary. Why don't you read one there?
Nancy Kerrigan, you an official here? Because you've officially given me a boner.
Okay, so what ice hockey or ice sport related movie is that quote from?
Nancy. I don't want to guess Slapshot again, but
No.
let's see. Maybe it's Mirror. What's that one movie?
Ice sport related movie. It might not.
With Will Ferrell.
Yep.
And, what's his name?
Yep.
Called. I don't remember the name of the
Blades of
movie.
Glory.
It's
Blades of Glory.
Gades of Glory is your clue.
Blades of Glory.
Blades
you
of
got
Glory.
it.
All right, we're gonna give you a point because we are generous, generous
I'm
of spirit.
pathetic.
All right, how about this? Call the Pizza Man.
Call the Pizza Man.
Mm-hmm. Let's call the Pizza Man.
Call the Pizza Man. Is it one of the Mighty Ducks?
Oh, man.
That's a
come
good guess.
on.
That was a good guess.
It's a fine guess, but think about your past guesses.
No. Slapshot.
Slapshot. They're being taken. That's one of my personal favorites, but I can't give you a point there,
Yeah,
man.
that's
Can't
a great
give you a point.
one.
Now,
No,
Mr. Bishop.
I was,
Yeah, yeah, they're calling her back. Do you want to guess? Shoot one out there. Or are you
Sure.
too busy
No,
with
yeah,
sound?
I got it right here.
Okay, what number?
14.
Okay.
I bet if it was a cheeseburger, you stop it. How about that?
say that again?
I bet if it was a cheeseburger, you would stop it.
To be fair, it is. I bet if that puck
Oh,
was a
sorry.
cheeseburger, you'd stop it.
Maybe I shouldn't have done that funny voice.
I bet if that puck was a cheeseburger, you'd stop it. Is the quote?
That's
Or how
that
about-
Mighty Ducks to
Yeah,
Goldberg?
that's. I took out
Goldberg.
I took out the name in the front. All right, Drew, you can.
Okay.
I changed up the one for me, so you can do any of them.
I want to do. You know what, Mikey? You can make their heads bleed in this one. I'm gonna make Wayne Gretzky's head bleed for the superfan number 99 over here.
Now this is we're including this on a technicality. It is not technically a movie about ice hockey.
What?
Can you say it one more time?
You know what, Mikey? You can make their heads bleed in this one. I'm gonna make Wayne Gretzky's head bleed for superfan 99 over here.
Let's see. Is it ice sports related? The movie?
The movie has nothing to do with ice hockey, but it is so related to the Kings and such a well-known movie that I allowed it. I indulged.
Cheese to blame.
Related to the King.
It is.
It's got Vince Vaughn in it.
Bad Boys?
It's got a very young Vince Vaughn in it.
Oh, Swingers.
Yes, we'll give you that. Ding ding ding.
Oh,
stuff.
yeah, when they're playing the Genesis.
Yeah.
They're playing Genesis.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, Gary. Which one you got?
I'm going to do number 8,
Okay.
as God intended me to do.
Right.
If your Uncle Jack helped you off an elephant, would you help your Uncle Jack off an elephant?
Is this a hockey movie?
Slapshot again?
Apparently, it is a hockey movie, and this is again. Hockey movie is such a vague term.
Right.
There's a lot of hockey
Right.
in this movie.
Well, did someone that produced this movie like hockey? Yes.
Yes, someone who produced and starred in this movie absolutely loves hockey and some.
All right,
other
so
hockey
one more time. If your Uncle Jack helped you off an elephant, would you help your Uncle Jack off an elephant? I see what you did there.
I'm drawing.
All right. We're gonna let that. It's Love Guru with Mike Myers, and according to two. Well, apparently
never
nobody
heard of it.
did. Apparently nobody did. It was
I
his
literally
last-
have never heard of it.
It was like his last movie. As our contributor Joe
Yeah.
Perot said, it basically ended Mike Myers' otherwise huge movie career. So yeah, not good. Gary,
let's blame it on the Love Guru.
yeah, let's blame it on this. Okay. How about this one? These guys are a fucking disgrace.
These guys are a fucking disgrace. Sounds like Slapshot.
Yeah, sounds like Slapshot to me, too. Ding, ding, ding.
Oh, nice.
All right. Maybe we'll do another round here. Just another round. See what's up. What about, you got one, Mr. Bishop, there you're dying to read?
Yes.
I think there's some new other movies in there, too, that we haven't hit.
Minnie Don't Burn Chicken. What about that one?
Where?
I didn't hear that.
That was...
I'm kidding.
I'm like, that's not on the list.
That's from The Help. Let's see.
And we're going to explain why that's an ice hockey movie, too.
Right.
What about number 4? That's a good one.
Number 4? How about we do number...
3?
What's number 3? I like...
Jesus Christ.
How about this one? I bet if that puck was a cheeseburger, you'd stop it. How about that?
We did that one.
Oh. I know, I'm kidding. Mighty Ducks, all right.
How about you go, Drew?
All right.
I think number 4 has got your name on it.
What about number 5?
Okay, go whatever. Something, for Jesus. Someone read a new quote.
I like number 2. During high school, I played junior hockey, and I still hold 2 league records. Most time spent in the penalty box, and I was the only guy to ever take off my skate and try to stab somebody.
Again, this is...
Oh, I know this one.
Yeah.
I know that quote.
And it's not 100% hockey, this movie.
No.
But
like
the character...
Oh, yeah, Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, ding, 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 ding. All right, Gary. All right, good job.
I'll do number 5.
Whew.
I play hockey and I fornicate because those are the 2 most fun things to do in cold weather.
This is a hockey movie.
Miracle on Ice?
No. It's Mystery Alaska.
That's what I meant. Because isn't that movie about the Miracle on Ice?
No, it's about a team of mystery. However, perhaps you would like this quote. When you pull on that jersey, you represent yourself and your teammates. And the name on the front is a hell of a lot more important than the name on the back. Get that through your head.
Miracle on Ice.
Miracle! We'll take the first word. Ding, 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 ding.
Miracle.
All right. All right, we're going to...
Can I do one more?
We can do one more. This is your final question.
All right.
Double Jeopardy.
Double Jeopardy.
All right, you do that. You go to the box, 2 minutes by yourself, and you feel shame, and then you get free.
That is Goon again?
No.
Good guess, though.
Good.
Slapshot.
Yes. Ding, 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 ding.
That's what we should have played, Goon or Slapshot.
We should have played Goon or Slapshot. It actually would have been great.
Yeah, but then we wouldn't have that jack off the elephant thing. Which
well,
was
that's
pretty funny.
That's true. Fair enough. And also I like learning about like that Happy Gilmore and stuff. And also Drew and Joe Pro said that they learned everything they learned about hockey being in while watching Mighty Ducks 2. Yes. And allegedly, I don't want to get controversial here, but I hear Mighty Ducks 2 is supposedly much better than the original Mighty Ducks.
It is.
Okay.
And the third one disappointed everyone greatly.
Oh, well, I was not disappointed, but...
That's like saying getting shot in the head is better than getting shot in the front of the head.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Who hurt you, Gary? Do you not like
8.
Mighty Ducks?
No.
You know what? I mean, you got 3 wrong, I think, and 8.5 right. So great job. Good job.
Wow. Oh, thank you.
Good job. Well, is there before we let you go? Is there anything else like coming up? Any shows you're going to be on or doing, or album coming? Talk about the album a little bit before we let you go.
Yeah, we can buy the album on iTunes or listen to it on Spotify. I think, let's see, what's coming up. There's a second season of Dream Corp on Adult Swim, the show I'm on.
Oh, yeah, nice.
That I don't know when that's coming out, but we got a second season, so look for that in the future.
Nice. All right. Hey, everyone, big round of applause for Matt Baruka. Thank you so much for being on with us. Woohoo! Thanks, man.
Guys.
Hope you had fun.
I did.
Okay, great. All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, well, that was fun, and I learned a lot about ice hockey movies.
Yeah.
So there you go. All right, folks, that's going to wrap us up for this week. Thanks to our contributors, Joe Pro and Wills Maxwell. To download all episodes we put out every week, subscribe at iTunes, Stitcher, and YouTube. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And thank you, Mr. Bishop, for taking us out with the jazz trumpet stylings of Mr. Al Hurt.